Hey everybody, we are back at this console. We got the main framing going in. I'm going to trim this little piece right here. So hang on, let me get this microphone plugged in. All right, let's see if we can put this on without scuffing it. All right, we're going to probably time lapse some of this. Let's let that cool down. Got the framing pretty much framed in. It's all looking good. All right, I didn't show you guys. So remember last we left off, this was taped down to the countertop and we were laying the resin. I also wanted to point out in that video, if you go back, when I first lay the resin on the front dash piece, notice that the color of the resin and everything was greenish. It had a greenish tint to it. If you watch the time lapse, that green goes from tan to brown. So what's happening there is, see this brown, that's your chemical reaction when you mix the hardener with your resin. It actually starts out green and then ends up brown. So anyway, we're gonna pop this out of here. See that? This is just the solid aluminum piece that I was showing you guys last time, all right? So now what we have here is we have this rectangular recess. So when we get done, I'm gonna actually take right now and trim this so it's a 1/2 inch around this area. And then that'll get rid of this rough edge. We're gonna do that now. All right, so now what we have is a, somewhat straight edge. But anyway, at least you don't have a super sharp edge that can come out and stick you. And then, underneath, of course, we had the dowel, that wood doweling. And then I've made marks here to notch this out to go on the top framing. So I'm gonna do that now. We're gonna dig that out, boom, and cut this other side, flip it around so you guys can see it. Oh, I can't see. So we'll try it this way. All right, so now that piece should fit right there, right? And you want it flat with that. So let me put some bolts in this. So all I'm doing is lining up the dash. Where it's going to sit, and that way I can. All right. So then this piece will be here. Oops. All right. So I'm trying to make it where that dash piece is going to fit flush with this. So we'll cut this. All right, so that's there. That fits nice and even. I put that level, here it is. Found it. Okay. All right, we're gonna, we can't do that. All right. Well, wouldn't you know it? That is level. That's crazy. So all we're doing right now is we're just using this hot glue gun to hold the two together so we can get some pajama material stretched. But see, once I get the pajama material here stretching there and then down, and this gets fiberglassed, then this will be locked in. Then we can separate the simple hot glue gun away from the dashboard. The dashboard is just serving as a holding point for that right now. Okay, that's level. That's level. All right, now that's level. I run this hot glue gun down the side of this stick. All right, so I've got a different camera angle here, and what I'm going to do is waiting for the hot glue gun to heat up. I'm going to get me some pajama material. What we're going to do is we're going to try to pajama material right behind here, and then we're going to leave like an edge like we did here, and then basically we're going to bring the pajama material up in here, and then we will fiberglass it. So we're going to work with this. Then if we get far enough, it's really late this evening, I have to work tomorrow, so we may just get this area done and fiberglassed. But I'm going to head on to the other side over here. The outside, that's going to take a little more time. That's why I decided to. This is actually harder than that, but there's a lot more work over there. So we're going to handle this first, get this pocket done, and then what we'll do is I'm actually going to make a piece for here on the table. So we'll handle the first curve up to this point here. Then we're going to go over to the table and we're going to make a new piece with a recessed so we can put one screw through right here for the side of the boat to hold the console. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But for now, we're going to lay some pajama material right around here so we can bring it up to this point, and then we'll resin this in. This is the pocket for our fishing pole. Let me grab some pajama material. Believe that, yeah, this piece will cover that area. Make sure we don't have anything crazy. It's all right to leave it long. I need to sharpen these scissors. These scissors don't want to cut anything anymore. Somebody's racing around. All right. So my idea, as soon as this gets warm enough. Oh, it's warm enough. So my idea is I'm going to run a bead way inside here. And then what I do is I'm going to grab this pajama material and I'm going to place it on that hot glue gun. Just like that. And what that does is we'll let it dry for a second, or cure from sticking right there. And what that does is it gives us a latch point, see there? And what I'll do now is I can let it cure a little more. But see, now I can stretch that, right? And for here, this situation, this old fiberglass kind of sticks to the pajama material, which helps you. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up here tight, and then we'll run a staple up top here to hold it right in here, right? So now that's holding that tight, and you can work the wrinkle out of it, see there? And then I'm gonna go under here, and I left this long on purpose because we can cut it afterwards. But I'm gonna go under here, and I wanna make this a smooth pocket. So I'm gonna go up here, and I'm gonna run another staple. All right, so now we got another staple there. Now this piece is gonna get a little tricky because we're gonna do some overlapping here in this pocket, but we also wanna make this where we can make, oops. See, now that staple didn't take. You wanna make sure, if it doesn't take, make sure you take it out because you don't want that to affect. All right, so we're gonna run that up there. Hang on one second. Let me run a staple. All right, so now that's good. That's through. Let me make sure. Let me bend that over. All right. So now, what I'm trying to do is get it smooth enough to where I don't have to do too much body work. Does that make sense? So the least amount of body work that you can do, the better. All right, so all right. So I need to do is run some more hot glue gun in here to set a base. All right, so let's get this hot glue gun in here. And I'm just gonna barely make the curve here because we're gonna make that flat piece right there. So I'm gonna be very careful, and I want to push this back to its spot. Around that curve, see there? So all I'm doing is running that hot glue gun on this back edge. And what it does is it holds the pajama material where we're gonna be running resin. And when I go and cut this with a razor blade right now, then it'll have this curve right here, and I'm gonna run a staple right here. Ooh, that's strong. Didn't want to go through there. All right. Okay, that stuck through a little bit. And you'll find a happy medium with this stuff. You find out what you can get away with, what you can't get away with. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of filling in here, but I can do that afterwards. The main thing is we want to have this wall in here. So we'll probably use a paint stick to push against this a little bit. Like right in that area. And then we'll tuck that back in there, and that'll end up getting filled. And then this new piece will come in here. So I want to pull that right now to get this out of there. See, now I've got a pocket. See the smooth pocket? And then now this, I want a smooth pocket so I don't have to do so much body work. Then I'm just going to throw the resin to it. But before I do that, I'm going to grab a brand new blade and cut that extra material out of there, because it's going to be a pain in the rear end if we wait too long. All right, so now what I have is a smooth transition. All right, and I'm going to pull this tight again and run a staple right here. All right, and that's just going to hold that taut, okay? And then this I'm not too worried about because I'm going to bring that other piece in here. So I just want to make that as smooth as possible right up to this point, and then I can make the other one blend in with it. So I'm going to pull all this excess into this corner because I can hide it back there in the back. The main thing is I just want that bottom, because I can fiberglass over that. We just want a base to start with. All right, so I'm going to grab the hot glue gun right here. All right. I'm going to pull that tight. See that there? All right, so now, see, now we got a pocket in here, and we're going to cut the excess off once this dries, which should be okay to cut now. Because if you don't cut that off, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get that smooth. All right. All right, so that piece is tight. All right, and what's cool about this back here is it's already, so let me try to see if we can, it doesn't really want to take a staple, but we're going to use it anyway. Nope, that one didn't take. All right. See, at least if you get it close, once you put the resin on here, you can push this around. And like I said, after we put the chop strand on the outside of this, we can make it straight, make it flat. All right. So let me mix up some resin. Let me put some tape on that so it doesn't fall. Make sure you guys can see that really good. All right, so right up here, we're going to manipulate this a little bit. We're going to put some tape here. All right. Tape is your best friend in these situations for sure. And we're only going to get this wet up to this edge here. We're going to leave this dry because it only needs to stick to this fiberglass that we laid before, right in here, and then around this corner to here, because we're going to make a piece from here to here on the table over there. I'm going to show you how to do that. So now I'm going to see if I can manipulate this a little bit. Yeah, I'll be able to push that around a little bit. We're going to give that a little pull. And then I'm going to cut this with a blade. Because I want to be able to mask this. It's still hot outside. So what we're doing here is we're just adding a little bit of tape to get that tight right there. And then see where there's a wrinkle right there? If you grab your tape where the wrinkle's at, just grab that and just pull it a little bit. See, it takes that wrinkle right out of there. And then back there, we're just going to use chop strand to cover all that up. All right. So we're ready. All right, let's get some resin. It's kind of hot and it's humid, so we got two of the worst evils working with us, against us, not for us. All right, let's go. During this, I'm going to turn on this exhaust fan, so forgive the noise, but we got to have it on because the fumes. Get the popsicle sticks just right. So like this popsicle stick, if I get it just right, it'll hold that one area up. Right? So then as it's holding that up, then I can manipulate the rest of that. See, and then I can run another one off the back if I can't get it to participate, which it's being a little stubborn. So then I can take this other popsicle stick and I just, from the weight of it, see, it takes out that wrinkle that's in the back. Hang on. So anyway, that won't take that long to set up. As you can see now, there's a lot of things you do to manipulate everything, but the main thing is we wanted it to stick here, and to stick around here. Back in there I can smooth out pretty easy after it's set up. But the main thing is now we got the back pocket smooth when it comes down to the flat. And that's what we wanted, is it to be smooth back in there, because the rest is very simple. Now when I pull this console out, we can address that area, fill that back area in to make it smooth. And then when we gel coat and sand it back in there, then it'll be really good. But this pajama material makes it where you can stretch it, especially after it's wet. With the resin, you can really stretch it. And then like this little area that's sunk in right here, it's okay because we're gonna fill that bottom edge. So we'll build that piece tomorrow.